Here we have the wolf statue across from the Old Royal Observatory, Greenwich, and some of its buildings. And there, in the far distance, the big steeple of Blackheath Church in the middle of Blackheath, an ancient open ground, never been forested over. A battle in the Peasants' Revolt in the 1300s took place. Anyway, back to here, and a more slightly panoramic view of the Canary Wharf development. And the O2 Arena over there, and some of the buildings in the City of London Commercial District. Possibly might be able to see them over there. They look much further away on the screen than they do in reality. So, there we are. Yes, we're quite close to the meridian. I'm currently in the Eastern Hemisphere. Very soon I should be in the Western Hemisphere. Many as a Londoner wakes up in the morning and goes to work in the Western Hemisphere and then comes back again into the Eastern Hemisphere. Right. The Tory government is wanting people to pay to go into museums and galleries again. When Labour came into power, they stopped all that. But Labour are no longer in power. The greedy party, the party of the very rich, is back in power. So, here we are. Some of the staff. They're not well paid here. They're the lowest paid of all the museums and galleries in Greater London. One time everyone got the same rates of pay, and then they were taken away from the civil service and had to have their own pay conditions. You can see people straddling the line there inside the Millennium Line. If you're miles away in the autumn, when it's dark, you can see a green light coming from up there, stretching for many miles. People wonder what that green light is. It's just indicating the meridian, so to speak. That can't be seen. That can be seen at night by laser. That red ball goes up and down periodically to indicate, certain times of day, to indicate the hour, the time, or something. Not every hour. And there we are. These are the steps leading down to that very steep hill I was telling you about earlier, feeding the tiling for anyone, let alone elderly people. Although it is. So, I would normally perhaps go in, but I don't think there's much point to that today. Besides, I might get told off. Although I don't think that that prohibits.
Space Cadets Family Workshop.
I'll have a look around some of the areas.
Really long.
Right.
Oh yeah.
One time, wouldn't need tickets to enter here.
See what I can get.
The audio guide includes painting in the garden. They are not an expert, you've already paid for them.
I would recommend actually going to the Astronomy Centre first. Head to the show. Then over there, there's galleries and photo exhibition.
As a man, no need, no woman.
Only seeing a small portion of the Old Royal Observatory. Up there, well, that's landing is. It's quite interesting. You can get quite a nice view from there, and you've got the planetarium inside there as well. Right, so now on that landing, and you can see other buildings further in the distance, some of which are close to 10 miles away. Considering that clearly because of the greyness of the day. Right. some photographs of the moon, apparently. Here's the telescope or part thereof. School kids come in here for astronomy lessons when they're studying for advanced level of the General Certificate of Education in Astronomy. So, now, down these long winding stairs, back out to the rear. I believe I'm getting older as you can't move as fast. Obviously, when you're younger, the old bones and muscles don't let you. Things you don't realise when you're younger. Right, here, and again, taking a look, going out when it said no exit before, or no entrance rather. Now I'll walk up this way, still going into the big place. There's lots of things that cost one money. Perhaps one can get out that way. No guarantees, of course. Yeah, on Azimuth.
An emergency ship. It's not far from the ship there. And then that is only about you only wait 5 minutes. Yeah, no.
So, a grey day in London town, and a small snippet of some of the scenery thereabouts. Where I live, of course, is hidden away behind all the tall buildings, and is on the other side of the river, then 1 mile further from the O2 Arena, that white dome with the yellow bits of rusty metal sticking out of it. 800 million, 1,400. or $1,400,000 to build that rubbish, which houses shops, cinemas and various theatrical venues and pop concerts and things of that nature. Right. There we are. Now it's easier to go downhill than to go up, and I went by a different route to get here. So now we're going to go downhill rather than uphill, which is a certainly much easier prospect. Gravity being much kinder on one's body going downhill than uphill, although there's a tendency perhaps to accelerate.
Going to be like.
Greenwich Park is obviously much better to see in the spring or the summer when there's much more light and we don't have any falling leaves. Of course, you've only seen, in truth, on this view, less than 5% of the total area of the park. It'll take quite a while and quite a lot of films to film the whole lot of it. I do hope it's not being too boring. You're looking at these actual video clips of areas of London. I do hope that I will be in a position to film more interesting things for longer in the coming days and weeks. To give you an idea, as I've said earlier, of what different places in London look like. So, we shall cease filming Greenwich, I think, at this particular juncture as we head down this little hill back to the National Maritime Museum. What's that doggy there being filmed by a number of people? Oh, well. Alright. Until 10 years or so ago, this and a few other royal parks in London, there are royal parks and there are local authority parks, but this had its own police force called the Royal Parks Constabulary, which policed 7 royal parks in London. The highest rank would be superintendent, called chief officer then. They had the same powers as the regular police, but they were civil servants as opposed to police officers from Home Office police force. They got about £300 or £400 a year less, and their jurisdiction extended to the parks and about a mile or so beyond it, and they maintained law and order. It was a 180-man strong police force, but then it was merged with the London Metropolitan Police, who do not seem to bother policing it, and just occasionally you'll see these police community support officers who have limited police powers, can't arrest you but can detain you for up to 30 minutes. So there we are, the defunct Royal Parks Constabulary, who were on duty in the park 24/7. Even when the park gates were closed, they would patrol it, just as security staff in the National Maritime Museum would patrol the museum, and people in the Ranger's house, Park Ranger's house if you want, which is an old museum, would patrol there. So the park, certainly after dark, was well patrolled. And anybody thinking they could sneak in and have a nice quiet kip somewhere for the night would no doubt be discovered by one of the dogs on patrol with constables on night duty. So nothing sinister usually happens in the park. Certainly there haven't been any cases of murder, rape, serious assault in the park for many decades, despite the fact you can have in the summer, in the course of 16 hours, several 100,000 people passing through it. Oh, well, here we are, once again, back at the National Maritime Museum.
This is what I did last Saturday. My friend Mel came over. And then once when she was in house, I only took her to the gate side and then never went anywhere else.
Right. Inside these windows in that door are some of the staff accommodation and security. The security control room and so on just behind there, off to the left. The Kern Galleries. That's been knocked off for some reason, so people can't go through there like they used to be able to for some reason. And that's the Queen's house there. We've been doing some work again on the Queen's house, as they periodically do. And in the distance, that wing is all for administrative staff and some of the curatorial and conservation staff, although most of those have their offices in the main museum. So, there we are. The old buildings of the former Royal Naval College, Greenwich, the domes that Wren built. Before this was built, and in the early 1500s, a palace stood somewhere along there, to more or less the corner, where Henry VIII was himself born. He became king in 1509, but he was born in a palace whose name I have forgotten, along this area, almost to the corner. So he was clearly born in the 1400s. This road here in front of us now is probably at least 1,000 years old, and it existed in one form or another, narrower or wider at different times in different centuries. And this was still a very rural place. It's just a village behind the Thames. So much for your quick view of Greenwich and some aspects of it. As we're catching the Docklands Light Railway back to Canning Town soon from Cutty Sark Station, and heading off home, although I may do some short films in between.